I wrote a piece a couple of years ago called the Evolution of Insanity. I have it backwards there. And the idea is, there's this girl. She has this idea, and it's out there. It's a little weird. And so she believes in it so much that she cuts off everything in her life, and she just hones in on that one thing, and people say, you're crazy. And she works nights and nights and nights, and people are like, you're insane. Cuts off everything else. It is her world. People said, you've lost it. And then something happens, right? Months, years down the road, she succeeds. And she succeeds like no one has ever succeeded. And then you have those very same people asking, how'd you do that? I want to do that. Right? We want to be like, can you show us? Right? Ultimately, then it's, hey, look at her, successful at the top of the mountain. Must be great. She's lucky. And she says, lucky? No, you don't know what I've given to get here. That way of thinking is insane. And I like to think of that as like a 180 with regard to, that progression. Everything new, everything of significance starts out weird, abnormal, crazy. Henry Ford says, look, if I asked the world what they wanted, they would have said faster horses. The idea of automobiles being not just a luxury item, not just something for the rich, that was out there. But he believed in it, he went with it. Again, changed the world. I love the scene from Hatching Twitter, where you have the 4 founders sitting around this table, right? And the app has a multi-million-dollar valuation and millions of users, and they're sitting there like, what do we have? Like, is this a news platform? Is this for communication? Is it an electronic journal? What is it? And I just think, like, imagine if they stopped because they didn't know what the future would be like, if they weren't willing to sort of suffer through and carve out their unique place in the world. Right now you have world leaders using it to communicate. You have revolutions starting from the platform. I mean, in 2019, Twitter it will be an important part of history. And so I always think back to that. And the last example I'll provide is Dilbert, where you have Scott Adams. And this guy who has some business background, but he's not Jeff Bezos. And he's kind of funny, but he's not the best comedian in the world. And, he's a decent artist, but he's not Picasso. But you take these things, right? You're bold enough to take these little pieces of what you love and create your own category. And he's changed the course of history, of what we consume, right? Everyone's going to know Dilbert 50 years from now, 100 years from now. So that's lesson number 3.